Hiya. Today I'm going to do a really glam, quite polished makeup look, and everything I'm using is from the high street. So these are things that are really not very expensive, but I think do a really good job. I'm going to start with Deciem Serum Foundation. As you can see, I'm quite red today. It's just one of those things. Sometimes I'm a bit more red than other days. This comes in a pipette, and I'm going to build this all over my complexion. See, look at that. I know it says serum foundation. I feel like that was actually quite misleading because loads went on. But even though it's a nice, soft, sheer texture, like you can see, that really is great coverage. I think I need to double check. I'll put it all in the description. But I think this is about £6 to buy. So a really great one if you want that coverage and you don't want it to feel too heavy, but equally maybe you've got areas that you do just need a little bit of cover for. I noticed actually with Deciem that they didn't do a Black Friday day, and they said, do you know what, like often Black Friday can make you get things you wouldn't normally get, or it can cause kind of impulsive buying. And they said, I can't remember the full statement, but it was really clever. They said, like, we want you to be really considered with your purchases and not just rush into something on this one day. And I thought that was really good. And actually, if you're learning a bit more about skin or anything like that, I'd really recommend having a little read of their website because they really break things down in a very easy to understand way. So Deciem foundation is on. I'm going in with a little bit of the Peaches setting powder. This is completely translucent when it goes on. And I'm just going to set, in particular, the centre of the face and also the eyelids where I've just swept some foundation over. Swept. So that I'm prepped, ready to put some pigments on. I'm going to move that mirror out of the way. It's very dull today. I hope I'm nice and clear when I'm getting myself ready. Okay, just quickly, I'm going to throw on a little Max Factor eyebrow. This brow pencil, I actually only got it this week, but I really like it. There's a whole kind of extension to the Max Factor brow products. And this is a little thin pencil that you can tickle your eyebrows on with. I'm going to brush any excess through here. And a majority of what I'm going to use in this makeup is from Peaches and Cream. So Peaches do so many lovely pigments that you can use for eyes, cheeks, mix them, whatever you'd like to do. And they do compacts like your bronzer, your powder, contour, things like that. So I'm going to just show you a few of my faves. They also do brilliant brushes, and there is a brush video in my IGTVs with some suggested brushes and shapes that I think you'd love. So I'm going to start, they're all loose pigments. I'm going to start with Selfie, which is a kind of pinky peach cream, and I'm going to take that all the way across the lids, just kind of up to the crease. I've actually just noticed I haven't properly looked at myself until I've come to do this video, but I had a bit of redness there in the inner corner of my eye. Doesn't feel sore or anything, but oh well, I've put makeup over it now, so we'll soon see whether it is sore, won't we? So I'm just layering this on, and then I'm going to take, as usual, to build a bit of shape, just a little bit of bronzer. This is the Peaches and Cream bronzing powder in light medium. I'm going to use this all over my face as well. But on a fluffy brush, I'm just going to tickle that through these sockets. What was I going to say then? Bronzer, tickle it through the sockets. Oh yeah, loose pigments. Someone asked me this week, what is the best thing to do? Should you mix them? Should you use them just on a brush? What's the best way to work them? Now, the Peaches girls do have mixing gels and things that you can mix your loose pigment with to make more of a cream consistency if you'd prefer. However, I actually find as long as you've prepped your eyes with something, see how I'd done my foundation over the eyes and then put a bit of powder over that, that is actually fine. Like, that will hold it on for you. So do what feels right for you. The option is there to mix something in, but if you're nice and gentle, I feel like just save yourself the hassle of the extra step. Okay, I'm usually very good at washing my brushes, but I'm kind of scraping the barrel this week because I've just been putting them in a pile to do. That's what I am going to do today. The next thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of, let me double check the names. I've got Rootin' Tootin' here, this lovely burnt coppery. And in fact, before I do that, I'm going to go in with Wild West, a chocolate brown, under my eyes on a smaller smudger brush. Now, I really would love to emphasise, and I will always emphasise, like, don't feel like these results are only achievable with these exact products. If you've got a soft brown, a darker brown, you know, something peachy, you can absolutely replicate these steps with whatever you have. So just kind of have a little think while we're going along. Is there a palette you haven't used in a while? Is there something in the cupboard that would do a nice job of this for you? Now, I'm not going all the way in. I've gone about half of the way in, if you can see. I'm then going to retrace my steps in the same way along the top of that lid. Still with that same colour. And then I'm going to use some of the warm copper kind of in those outer corners. Kate and Nick, actually, if you are a Peaches fan, I'm just going to flick these up a little bit. They were both on my podcast last week and I had lots of nice messages, actually. I think so many people love Kate and Nicola and they loved having a listen to them. I'm going in with the warmer coppery one, by the way. So if you do like Peaches and you want to hear a bit more of their story and how they got started and all the rest of it, if you literally just type in Beauty from the Heart to Google or wherever you find your podcasts, you'll be able to have a listen. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, as I'm going along, I feel like we've all done something similar to this in our time. I've kind of placed that darker colour to drag my eye down a bit. Can you see that? So I'm just gonna soften this little coppery colour out first. Like, let's put one fire out at a time. I want that to look nice and blended. That is taking nice shape, actually. Just soften that out so that we've got a nice blend. And then I'm gonna go in. This is, do you know what this is? This is because I'm using different brushes because I haven't washed the brushes I should be using. I need a little pencil brush, but of course it's over there in a pile to be washed. I'm taking a little Real Techniques. This is, all the names have rubbed off my Real Techniques brushes because I've had them for years, but it's a very good Real Techniques brush nonetheless. That's about as much description as I can give you. The reason the name is rubbed off is because I've used it that many times. And actually quite fitting for this video because Real Techniques would definitely be one of the high street brands I would recommend you to have a look at if you wanted to get a few more brushes and a few staples for your collection. So I'm just gonna add this brown and then soften out that darker edge back with my bronzing powder. I'm not going to lie to you, I know we've come across a few stumbles in this video, but sometimes I feel like it's quite nice. What I'm doing, by the way, is taking the bronzer through the outer edge of that dark colour. Sometimes I feel like it's quite nice to show when you've had a panic and made a mistake, because they're always able to be rectified. Like, there's nothing worse than when you just think, oh, I want to take this off and start again. But actually, in the last kind of 30 seconds or so, I'm reaching a point where I'm actually feeling quite good about this makeup. Now, what I am going to do, just going to take a tiny bit more in this outer corner. I was going to look in this like it was a mirror. I'm actually going to stop fiddling with this now because we've got 15, we've done 10 minutes. We've got 15 in total. Oh God, I can't actually. I am so near getting these symmetrical. Once I've kind of done it, I'm going to stop faffing about and get the rest of my face on, because sometimes I think as well, I could get absolutely hell-bent on that. Whereas if I just finish everything else and then come back to it, it'll be easier to do the finishing touches of. But actually, the other thing that this mistake-laden video has proven is that these pigments will blend out nice and easily and you'll kind of sort yourself out. I'm feeling happy with that. Top tip from David Horn, finish then finesse. So before I do too much else, I'm going to get some bronzing powder through the temples, down the nose. Have you noticed this video has been getting darker? It's because the sun has gone in and in and in. So I hope it's still nice and clear. Oh, I think I've got a bit of colour on myself there. I'm just flicking that off with a clean brush. At this point, I'm just planning on getting it finished, whether I've got a little mark there or not. Okay, nice little sweep of bronzer just in set areas. I'm going to take some highlighting powder in Halo on a smaller little detail brush, and I'm going to take that along the tops of these cheeks, a little bit on the nose, a little bit on these little brow bones. Okay, 3 minutes, we're not doing too badly. Let me just get my lips on. I'm going in with a Peaches borderline, and I'm going to take that all around the edge. And plump up the upper lips. There we go. And then I'm going to take a little bit of more of a golden liner rather than a black or a brown. So this is the Peaches Sphinx, which is quite similar to the coppery colours in the eye makeup. It's kind of somewhere in between the deepest brown and the medium brown. I've tickled a tiny bit of that in that lower waterline so that it's not as obvious we only took the shadow part of the way in, and doesn't it just pull everything together? And then this mascara is from Superdrug and it's double-ended. To be perfectly honest, at this point of the video, I'm so delighted to reach a point where I've had time to do some mascara. I'm not terribly fussed which end of this mascara we use. No, that's a really lovely mascara actually. I think if you want something fluttery, this isn't clumping my lashes at all. It's giving them a lot of separation and it's making them look quite wispy rather than clumpy, almost like you've had a lash tint. It's a really nice soft finish. And actually, if you've gone for nice shadows, sometimes it's nice to have quite a soft mascara on so that you can still see your colours shining through. Now, in a controversial plot twist, I seem to still have some time to have a bit more of a play. So I'm going to take a little bit of Peaches Pigment in Crush. This is a kind of creamy pinky. It's not too dissimilar to what I used on my eyelids. And I'm going to just brush a bit of that across those cheeks. The lovely thing with the Peaches pigments, you know, is they look so unassuming in the pot, and then you get them on the skin and they feel like nothing, but they give you such a lovely glow. If the sun was out, you'd really see this. In fact, let me just show you. Oh, that's too bright as well. There's a light on that mirror. But anyway, Well, there we go. Nice high street makeup. Nothing cost a fortune. Everything still looks nice and polished. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon.